Hello everyone, welcome back to another Shaner'S Rant. It's been a while, I haven't done a show, webcast, whatever you want to call it, podcast, in over a week now. I just had a lot of other projects on the go and had to take care of them all, and still an ongoing process, but I'd take some time and get down to business here. Gives people chance, the very few that actually watch this, a chance to get caught up on the episodes, and because I was just punching them out left, right, and center, one or two every day for a while there, and can only expect so much out of the few people that do watch. And I really do appreciate the people that, you know, tune in and try to watch as much as possible. I look at the analytics and everything, and I'm getting some views, not tons of views, and now stuff popping up on my screen when I'm trying to record. I don't know how to turn off that notification on my screen. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I really appreciate the views. There's not tons, but, you know, I'll take whatever I can get. You know, like I said, I look at the analytics, and you know, not everybody's watching the full show, but I appreciate whatever time you give me. So I'll try and not meander on as much as I do and get right to the information. And I'll cue up the first video. This is from a great podcast that I watch religiously, Moose on the Loose. This guy David, he's really got his stuff together. I recommend it. He's got 203,000 subscribers there. He gets lots of views. He's got some merch here, if you're interested. Totally recommend him. I'm stealing a little bit from him, not all of his show or anything, but there was a clip that you can see. Brantford, Ontario City Councillor explains why he will not perform land acknowledgements. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, especially in British Columbia, with the natives seizing land back, even though there was, you know, deals, what do you call it, treaties signed a long time ago about land. So let's give this a listen.
This episode off on a lighter note. We've got this coming from the Brantford City Council. We have Ontario City Councillor explains why he will not perform land acknowledgements.
Any questions? Member Martin?
More a comment. I don't believe in land acknowledgement. I think it's virtue signaling. I don't think it really means much of anything. And there's no reciprocal acknowledgement. What about my treaty rights? They do nothing to acknowledge that some of the land was sold, some of the land was traded for services. They just say everything's under claim. So it has to be a two-way street, and I don't see that that's happening right now. So I don't believe in doing land acknowledgements, and I won't be supporting this.
Okay, thank you. Any further comments?
This is so on point. There's no recognizing, as he said, land sold, land traded. Where is that? Because that makes complete sense. I'm sure he'll be hauled before a human rights tribunal within days. No kidding.
Next up, this is sent, well, not sent, this was posted by Michelle Ferrari.
Some breaking economic news this morning. Real GDP has declined for a second consecutive quarter, meaning the definition of a technical recession.
Well, look, the technical definition of a technical recession is just that. It's 2 quarters of flat or negative growth.
We haven't eaten today.
Yeah, we're only technically hungry, though. I got laid off today.
Don't worry, Daddy. You're only technically unemployed.
We have to repossess your home because you can't pay your mortgage.
Honey, we're homeless.
Only technically homeless.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Hungry, homeless, jobless. It's only technical.
On the...
Hate to laugh at people suffering, but yeah, there you go, Mr. Carney. You know, and everybody's piling on the wrong guy. There was clips that I watched on other podcasts, how the mainstream media, they're not even attacking CARNEY on this issue. They're attacking Poilievre, saying that he's gleeful that the economy is in a recession, or technical recession. And it's so far from the truth. If you watch anything, go on CPAC for yourself, and find any clips online from the last parliamentary session. Poilievre was pissed off. He was not laughing. It was CARNEY that was laughing right in Poilievre's face. It's disgusting. Next video is for all you Torontonians or anybody that goes to the city and wants to risk your lives on the TTC.
Confidence in the TTC right now is at an all-time low. The people in this room, on this board, have allowed it to become a free-for-all of crime, disorderly conduct, and open-air drug den. People use the TTC as their personal living room, sleeping on seats during rush hour, putting their rotten feet on the seats, and fouling the air with the harsh scent of urine and other bodily fluids. And I'm of the opinion that those in this room are complicit in this state of affairs. People in this room fell into the defund the police dogma, the decolonization dogma, that criminals can operate freely because of their, quote, lived experience, that criminal activity and drug use is a healthcare issue, or defined by a race-based paradigm, that the TTC should be allowed to be used as a homeless shelter, as Stuart Green said back in 2020. You buckled to pressure from special interest groups and activists, and now you are reaping the results. The broken windows theory posits that when transit systems allow the little things to fester and break, it sends a psychological signal to everybody that nobody is in control. Negligence rules the day, and that if the little things are broken, there's a very good chance that the bigger things are broken too. I'd like to present a quick little video from the bus the other day. What we see here is an individual in a climate of impunity, and an individual who is completely addicted to what seems to be crystal meth here. It might be fentanyl, we don't know. But he's using his City of Toronto taxpayer-funded bold pipe, and he's freely lighting up on the bus. And what we also see is a woman who is looking at this activity with complete disgust, fear, and anxiety written all over her face. What do you think she's thinking when this man is freely smoking his pipe on an afternoon on a Wednesday? She's thinking, there's no way I'm letting my kids take the TTC. She's thinking, I'm probably not going to take the TTC again. At least with Uber, I don't have to breathe in secondhand crystal meth smoke. This is the state of the TTC today, and this is happening across, this is pervasive now. It's disgusting. No TTC rider should have to experience that, especially women, seniors, and children. Your mandate is not to be a homeless shelter. Your mandate is not to be a respite center. You are accountable to the taxpayers who fund this $3 billion a year system and pay your salary, and to the riders who honestly pay their fare to get from A to B in a safe, speedy, non-anxiety ridden fashion. Your job is enforcement. Yes, the use of force, in all its inconvenient and unpretty essence. And if the special constables can't or won't do it, then you're gonna have to call in the TPS and build out that TPS transit unit, because the only way this stuff is gonna be fixed is with force. Unadulterated force, both at the gate to ensure these people don't get on the system, they're obviously not paying their fare, and if they are engaging in these types of activities, they are immediately removed. You got to send the message that the climate of impunity on the TTC has to end. It must be over. Law and order must rule the day. We pay you $3 billion a year, and we demand a safe, clean, reliable, world-class transit system. And if you can't deliver that, please resign. Confidence in the TTC.
Wow. I mean, what can I add to that? It's pretty straightforward. The guy includes every bit of information, right? I mean, I don't like going to Toronto, and I just don't go anymore. I can't even remember the last time I was on the TTC. I mean, like, I go, you go on the CP24 app. It's disturbing every day down in Toronto. Stabbing after stabbing after stabbing. I mean, forget about the shootings. That's rampant too, but that's more like Scarborough and other areas. But like, downtown Toronto, there's all kinds of stabbings. I don't know what the hell's wrong with people, but there you go. I thought that was a very informative video. Moving on. Tracy Costin reports Canada's Bill C-9 has passed the Senate, which removes the long-standing religious expression defense from portions of Canada's hate speech laws. That change has many religious freedom advocates concerned. For decades, Canadian law included protections that help safeguard the ability of religious individuals to express sincerely held beliefs based on Scripture and other religious teachings. Critics of Bill C-9 warn that removing those protections could create uncertainty about how biblical teaching on issues such as marriage, sexuality, and sin may be treated in the future. Supporters of the bill argue that it is designed to combat hate crimes and protect vulnerable groups. I can't read for the life of me today. However, many Christians are asking an important question. If religion protections continue to erode, what happens when biblical truth increasingly conflicts with cultural norms? The concern is whether Christians will be free to publicly proclaim what the Bible teaches without fear of legal consequences, as quoting the Bible on marriage, sin, or God's design for sexuality could now be prosecuted as willful promotion of hatred. Unquote. History has shown that freedoms are often lost gradually, not all at once. And here's a quotation from the Bible. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, from Isaiah 5:12. And we ought to obey God rather than men, Acts 5:29. The church has depended on... Sorry, I'm going to start that over again. I've got blurry eyes today. The church has depended on government approval to preach Christ, and we should never take religious liberty for granted. This is from America. In America, we do not want to follow the path Canada is on. Pray for them. Pretty heavy duty. You know, I for one am not going to preach at people, even though I've done like a couple of Sunday shows where I'm reading scripture and stuff. I'm not trying to tell anybody how to live. That's up to you. How I choose to live is up to me. And, you know, I got to work my stuff out with God my way. And I'll probably do more of these scripture shows. I actually have stuff in mind that I want to do. And I am nobody. I am just a big fat nobody. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm learning stuff every day as I do my daily devotionals. I've got my little Google machine that I ask questions about. You know, I really don't go to church. I'm learning on my own. I'm doing it one-on-one with the Lord. I am not about to go out in public and start telling people what they should or shouldn't do. I'm not going to go door to door. Go not ye door to door. You know, like, it's not my place to tell people what their sin is. Sin is sin, and there's all kinds of sin. And I'm not going to stand there and point out to other people what their sin is, you know, when I'm busy sinning myself. So, but to think that you can't say anything and it's hate speech, you know, but you can have all these Muslims and stuff marching in our streets saying death to Canada, and that's okay. Death to Christians, and that's okay. And a prime minister that says Muslim values are Canadian values. Give your frickin' head a shake. Anyways. Oh yeah, I knew I had this. Muslim values are Canadian values, like I just said. Yeah, he said this. So this is from Terrence K. Williams. Canadian Prime Minister says Muslim values are Canadian values. He also encouraged America, and the West to embrace Muslims. Yay! During the what is that? Eid al-Adha event, Carney said Canadians should come together around the values of the Eid community, generosity, and sacrifice, and added, these are Muslim values. These are Canadian values. Maybe if you looked at what the Muslims really believe, like the hardcore Muslims that actually read the Quran, the hardcore ones really want us dead. Yeah, I don't like that idea. Alright, moving on. Now get a load of this video. Now this is from New York, but this could be coming our way. New York Democrats just pissed. I'd like to be. I might get that way tonight. Who knows? Anyways, the New York Democrats just passed a bill replacing mother, the word mother, with gestating parent, and the word father with non-gestating parent in state law. I got no words. I'll try to think of something. Let's give this a listen.
New York Democrats just voted to erase the word mother from state law. Not limit it, not supplement it, erase it entirely, and replace it with the term G-parent. The bill passed the state assembly in March and cleared the state senate this week 38-23. It now sits on Governor Kathy Hochul's desk, and she is expected to sign it. Here is exactly what the legislation does. Everywhere New York state law currently says mother, it will now read gestating parent. Everywhere it says father, it will now read non-gestating parent. The word paternity is replaced with parentage. And a putative father, the legal term for an unconfirmed biological parent, is now called an alleged parent in official state records.
Alleged.
The bill is over 15,000 words long. New York has an $18 billion deficit, homelessness visible on every corner, a new socialist mayor seizing private property, teen takeovers at malls and beaches, a state budget that was nearly 2 months late. And Albany Democrats spent their time on a 15,000-word bill to erase the word mother. Supporters call it a technical legal cleanup, saying it brings state law in line with modern surrogacy and IVF arrangements. But here is the truth every New York mother deserves to hear. The word mother is not a legal technicality. It is not outdated terminology. It is the most fundamental human relationship that has ever existed. Every civilization in human history, across every culture, every language, every religion, has a word for it, because nothing else in human experience compares to it. New York Democrats looked at that word, mother, and decided it was a problem to solve. Republican gubernatorial candidate Bruce Blakeman called it exactly what it is, a declaration of war on New York families. Conservative Party Chairman Gerard Kasser said, "It's woke culture run amok." It's an example of how out of tune the New York legislature is. And he asked the question every person considering moving to New York should be asking, do I need this silliness? This is the same state that elected a socialist mayor who wants government grocery stores and seizes landlord properties. The same state whose attorney general is under federal investigation. The same state losing hundreds of thousands of residents every year to Florida, Texas, and Tennessee. And the legislature's response to all of it? Erase the word mother and replace it with gestating parent. To every mom watching this right now, New York Democrats just told you how they see you. Not as a mother, as a gestating parent. Happy belated Mother's Day from Albany. Follow First Signal. The war on the American family, documented every single day. New York Democrats.
People, at what point? At what point does this shit stop? Like, good Lord. I'm baffled. What's that phrase? What's that saying? Bullshit baffles brains. I'm baffled. That is the stupidest I've seen. Not the stupidest, but it's up there. That's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. They spent a lot of time and money and resources on this bullshit. What's wrong with you people? Holy mackerel. That is so fucking stupid. Sorry for the swearing. I've really been working hard on it. But that's fucked up. That's fucking stupid. Sorry. I don't care who you are. That's fucking stupid. And if you think like that, you're fucking stupid. Anyways, I'm back. Was I gone? Yes, I was. Was happy hour on the patio with Mama Moose. I forget where I was. So, let's load up the next video.
Who's in the Oval Office on why he's not able to do more.
Over again.
Behavior of who's in the Oval Office on why he's not able to do more.
I think Canadians have given Mark Carney a lot of runway in terms of the fact that they understand dealing with Donald Trump is difficult, that Canada doesn't have the ability to control the U.S. president. You've seen Donald Trump launch wars, and you've seen the U.S. basically head into larger problems, and it makes you realize that the globe overall doesn't have much control over Donald Trump. So what kind of control could Canada have? Right. Now, I think, though, with time, it's like if you can't deliver on a deal, then it's like, well, then why are you the guy for us to trust? And that was entirely Mark Carney's pitch. And so I think with time, yes, that will be a challenge if you say that you can't make inroads in your relationship with Donald Trump, you can't get relief on sectoral tariffs, you can't get the USMCA renewed, and the economy continues to struggle. At some point, it's like, well, maybe we should try a different path.
Yeah, and Shakira, I've only got about 30 seconds on this because I'm already over, but do you think that that is Mark Carney's Achilles heel in all of this, and something that really could benefit the Conservatives if something doesn't happen with Kuzma, and then everything that he had promised last April is now not there?
I think that's what it is. I think the promises he made in the last election, he's not living up to. Whether it was the speed that he was going to renegotiate Kuzma with Donald Trump, whether it's to be the fastest growing economy in the G7, these things are just not materializing. So at some point, you have to hold Mark Carney to his words and say you're not delivering on what you told us to do. And so what are the political consequences? And I do think at some point, whether or not people like Pierre Poilievre, whether we want to show polling of Carney being the preferred prime minister, at some point the tables will turn and folks will look to a new option of who can take over as prime minister and drive Canada forward.
Behavior.
My take, if Carney wants to stay in power, he's got to do a lot more and just repeal C-69 and stop with the net zero bullshit and just build like he said he was going to build. He said, we're going to build like never seen before. It's not happening. He keeps talking about it, but it's not happening. So just make it happen. And You want the power, you'll get it. You want the money for Brookfield, you'll get it. Make these investments happen for Canada, and you'll stay in power. Otherwise, it's all on you. You can't blame conservatives. They are not standing in your way. You are standing in your way, sir. Your liberal caucus is standing in your way. So get rid of them. The hell with them. They all want the net zero that you proposed. You wrote the book on it. Well, the hell with it. We need to make money in this country, and we need to be prosperous. Bottom line. And if you can't do it, step aside. Moving forward, the province of Ontario just passed a law making ticket scalping and reselling for profit illegal. But get this. This is too much.
Just did one of the most hypocritical things I have ever seen regarding the World Cup this year. And although I agree with the law they passed, this is insane. So a few days ago, the province of Ontario just passed a law that's protecting their citizens and their fans from ticket scalpers for the World Cup. That's good. The problem is, they just spent $10 million scalping tickets themselves. So back in 2025, Toronto got early access to World Cup tickets because, hello, they're a host city. And they could get as many tickets as they wanted before the general public even opened Ticketmaster or StubHub or whatever you guys have up there in Canada. So the city of Toronto was thinking, we can really make some serious scratch here. So we're going to buy 3,546 general admission tickets for the World Cup, but we're going to use taxpayer money out of a reserve fund. So they turn around and nearly flip every single one of those tickets for a markup, selling them to corporations and fan groups through something called host city donor agreements. But here's where it gets crazy, because the province of Ontario just made it illegal to resell tickets above face value. And the fine for doing this, even if you sell it for $1 more, is $25,000. And this law goes into effect on June 10th, 3 days from now. When is Canada's first World Cup match? June 12th. They literally passed an anti-scalping law while they're still moving the tickets that they themselves scalped. Now they're calling this an investment to replenish the reserve fund of that taxpayer money I was talking about, but this is the epitome of rules for thee, but not for me. This is...
And there you have it, folks. Good Lord. And moving on, we're getting to the tail end of this episode. I really got stuff I wanted to do tonight. And it's going on 7 o'clock, so... And I gotta get up early. I got a million things to do tomorrow, and I move at a snail's pace. So here we go. Fake conservatives that want Pierre gone. There's snakes in the grass in the conservative movement, and we're just pointing them out.
How do you think this is resonating with voters, this argument over trying to say that Mark Carney caused all of this?
I think I said it last week, how it's dangerous politics to be going out here claiming the sky is falling. When in a month's time or 2 months' time, when the next numbers come out, it shows that it isn't. And it was a week later. We're here a week. The job numbers are better than they were last quarter. We have the CD Howe Institute coming out and arguing, another economist saying it's not a recession. And it's problematic when you choose to go down that road that Poilievre has chosen to go down so aggressively, almost like he's rooting for a recession. I understand partisan politics very well. I am a tribal conservative. I want to win the next election. 3 years before an election, screaming that the sky is falling every week is not how you do it.
I want to explain something to all Canadians that you might not know. That guy that you saw there, his name is Fred Delory. He actually used to be on Doug Ford's campaign. He was a director of operations. In addition, he was the campaign manager for Aaron O'Toole, the one who lost to a weak Justin Trudeau, for taking weak liberal stances. And this is the important part. These are the people that I consider fake conservatives. They actually do a lot more damage to the Conservative Party than anyone else. You want to know why I believe they get on TV and say things like this? Liberal talking points, things that criticize Pierre Poilievre, it's because they're on the outside. They're no longer needed. If they were, they'd be getting a phone call asking for advice from Pierre Poilievre and his team. He doesn't, and so they hop on TV and they criticize. And it allows Liberal MPs like Mark Gerritsen to make videos on literally that video that I just showed you. And the title? For his video, you can even see above, it says, "What happened to Pierre?" And he talks about how Fred, a conservative, is criticizing Pierre Poilievre, and you should never listen to what Pierre says. And I've said this before, there's an active campaign by people who previously were involved with the Conservative Party that want to get rid of Pierre Poilievre. I think it's people like Aaron O'Toole, not surprisingly, this guy, Fred Delory, a guy named Dimitri Soudas, who wrote a hit piece on Pierre Poilievre last year, who you may see constantly on TV criticizing Pierre Poilievre. And like many of you guys already know, Corey Tanaik, who criticized Pierre Poilievre during the election.
Asshole.
He used to be the former director of communications for Stephen Harper. Dimitri Soudas was fired by Stephen Harper. All four of these people that I named, they are not actively currently involved in politics. In my opinion, they're desperate to get back in. And in order to get back in, Pierre needs to go because he's in their way. I criticized Carney's speech. Aaron O'Toole tried to come after me. I checked him really hard. Fake conservatives.
And there you have that, folks. And we're back and we're moving on. We're at the favorite time of the show. It's Mr. Roper time. Alright, there we go. Gotta take the glasses off here. Oh man, get ready for this one. Get the booing sound effect ready for this one. 5 ants rented an apartment with another 5 ants. Now they're 10 ants. Oh, we gotta cue that up. That was good. I don't know why I'm laughing. Oh shit. Okay. I think I've done this one before, but what's the best present you can gift? A broken drum. Nobody can beat that. Okay, I haven't read this one, so... okay. Oh, hold on. Give me a second. Hey, Siri. Take screen capture. Sorry, folks. I just definitely got to save this one to send around. I asked my wife if she wanted to grab a coffee. She said, sure, how about 10 tomorrow? 10 coffees in one day seemed a little excessive, so I canceled the plans. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, man. I'm feeling no
In 6 years as a minister, I've never taken a government plane. I've never been on the Prime Minister's plane.
Stephen Guilbeault might be more of a problem for Carney.
Oh man, my computer is really screwing up. It's glitching. I can't even close all this crap. I don't know what I've done here, but I better say goodbye and reboot. So, anyways, thank you so much for spending time with me. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless and all that jazz. We'll see you soon.